One of the best turnarounds in history, including the playoffs. The Patriots are up to 15 wins after winning 4 last year. They're the third team ever to win 11 more games than the previous season. The 99 Rams, the 2019 49ers were the other. Both of those reached the Super Bowl. And so today they get the challenge of the Texans defense, and we talk about them all the time. Everyone knows about them. There's also both sides of the ball. Let's talk about C.J. Stroud. And Teddy, what you saw from him in particular last week and what that might mean for the game today.
Well, C.J. struggled a little bit at times. Looked a little confused, actually, when he was playing. So the New England Patriot defense majors in that. Defensive coordinator Zach Kerr that stepped in for Terrell Williams, who Terrell Williams had to leave earlier this season because of health-related issues. Terrell, I hear you're doing well. You keep getting better, buddy. We'll keep praying for you, okay? But Zach Kerr, defensive coordinator, has been doing a great job. Robert Spillane talked earlier this week how confusing the Chargers actually thought this defense was.
After the game, talking to a few of the guys on their team, they had no clue what we were doing, and they came up and said that. We have no clue what you guys were in all game.
Yeah, Robert Spillane, one of our favorites, Moss, for a long time, right? Let's see what he's talking about here. Well, look at all the communications from the defensive backs. They're constantly moving up and down, moving from safeties off to safeties down. You got a cover zero look coming up right here. And then if we rotate this just a little bit, they're showing a 7 rusher look. That's what Herbert's looking at here. But then what this turns into is just a 4 rusher look here. But look at these 3 droppers. I can't even tell you what this is, fellas, because they're dropping to the same area. So good luck deciphering this Houston Texans defense. You got offensive linemen thinking to themselves, what the heck is going on? Ellis, a good player. They're all over the place. All I'm saying is Zach Kerr, he's got them doing things that organically they feel like they have ownership of it all. I'm going to move everywhere because you can't really coach stuff like that, Rex, because this sort of defense feels very comfortable with this system.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you do is you give that freedom. All right, Vrabel and company are giving the freedom to their players, and now they know that system so well. They know the time. They know when that ball is going to be snapped, and especially playing at home with it loud and everything else, the communication is critical for that offense, and that's why I think it's going to be it's going to be brutal. They got to stay ahead of the stick, so this defense will light them up. Not just Houston's, but New England's. This is the 3rd-rated defense in the National Football League. And I'm going to tell you, there's a player, Milton Williams, that they signed in the offseason, to me, was one of the biggest acquisitions in the National Football League. And we know they lead the league in defense and stopping a run when he's out there. And so, to me, watch him push in the pocket. Absolutely great coordination by Mike Vrabel.
And that defensive confusion is going to have an effect on the opposing quarterback. C.J. Stroud, listen, something that reared its head last week for this Texans offense were these gun snaps, right? 5 times we saw gun snaps on the ground. And something that doesn't get talked a lot about from the gun position when you're on the road and there's crowd noise and you're going silent is the quarterback's vision, right? You got to understand when you're at home, you got cadence and you call for the ball set, you know exactly when it's coming. You can watch C.J. Stroud, right? It's silent cadence. He's watching the defense. He's trying to gather information. He just lifted his leg. That's like lighting a fuse, right? All of a sudden, the guard's tapping the center, the head's bobbing. He's still trying to gather information. He's trying to time up his eyes when the snap's coming, and then bam, get my eyes back up on the defense, right? Because I got to know what's happening. All of a sudden, the ball's on the ground. We saw it 5 times. You mentioned that Patriot defense, all the different unorthodox things they do. It's going to be there again today because, again, as a quarterback, you're taking information, motion's coming, you're trying to see what they're doing. You've lifted your leg, right? And again, that is a fuse has been lit. The left guard's looking back. He taps the center. He does the head bob. But it gives you anxiety as a quarterback to stare down and be waiting for the snap and not knowing what the defense is doing, right? We'll see if they get it figured out today. Because you can't have these negative plays against this defense.
And then, Randy, to make matters worse, they go without their best receiver. Nico Collins not available for the Texans. He's hurt, and so obviously a lot of things working against them on that side of the ball.
You know, when you talk about last week's game and Nico Collins going out, it was like, well, where was the production going to come from? You have 2 nice big wide receivers on the outsides with Higgins and Hutchinson, but they have a guy to work the middle. I'm talking about Christian Kirk. What he was able to do last week, being able to put up his numbers, 8 catches for 144 yards and getting in the box 1 time. One thing that I think for me the question I had was bringing a dome team out of the dome in these cold environments last week in Pittsburgh. Well, it's going to be similar out there this evening. So I just think that everybody thinking that the Patriots defense is just going to walk all over this Houston Texans offense. But last week, after the performance in the middle by Christian Kirk, I still think they have some offensive weapons and they can still put points on the board.
Question is, if it's a low-scoring game, maybe both teams are in it. A high-scoring game does not seem extremely likely, particularly
I'd still like
with
to see a little more snow.
Linebacker coaches. It's coming. The snow is definitely coming. And today's the third meeting, by the way, as head coaches between linebackers Mike Vrabel and DeMeco Ryans. They met twice as players. Their second matchup in 2010, Vrabel was a Chief. He caught this 2-yard touchdown against Ryans Texans. It was the 12th and final touchdown catch of Vrabel's career. He has the greatest statistic maybe in NFL history. In his career, he had 12 receptions for 12 touchdowns.
He was always politicking for touchdowns down there. He was always doing that.
The one thing about it, when I became a Patriot, they used to put the goal line package in. And I said, he used to point at me, you out. And I had to look at the statistics to see, how many catches, how many touchdowns. So it really made sense. So I had to move out the way.
12 for 12. That's a ratio even Randy Moss can't argue with. There's Drake Maye. He is on his way in Foxborough as the Patriots and Texans work their way towards kickoff, and we do too. Fans here are fired up for You Got Mossed. We've got a very special edition of that feature coming your way today. Randy has saved the best for last. The best catches of the entire season are on the way, and our Monday crew is with us through the entire show. We are here inside. We are outside. RC is here.
Swag
is here. Jason Kelsey is here. Van Pelt leading the charge. We're back in front of the Houston Texans and that nasty defense coming to town. There's the coach everyone is talking about, Randy Moss. Looking awesome today. The fans are ready to go, Rex. And Alex and Teddy, we've got everything coming your way as we look ahead to two fabulous games after we had a very interesting day yesterday. And it starts, Randy, right here with the young quarterback, Drake Maye.
Man, I feel all this energy outside this stadium, and I hope y'all ready for this show because it's going down.
Here we
what
go.
I'm looking for, you got 3 different levels on the passing game, and I'm just wondering if Drake Maye, Josh McDaniels can get to the second tier of the passing level. Stefon Diggs is the man that I'm looking for. You're going to see some crossing routes. They're going to have to place a man in the middle. So Stefon Diggs, the crossing routes, the dig routes, I want to see if you can get open. Protecting Drake Maye is a must today. Why? He has to get the ball to the second level. It's going down, Rex.
Moss, you're 100% right. It's about protection. Why this group right here can absolutely hunt the quarterback. Will Anderson and company, Danielle Hunter. That's the matchup you got to watch for. This Will Campbell, last time we saw him isolated against a great pass rusher, he gave up not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 sacks.
Ooh.
That's the matchup that I'm looking for today.
All right, let's go to the Windy City, fellas. Rams at the Bears. And for me, I got my eyes on this Bears running game. DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, they got 2 great backs. They've been one of the best rushing units in the NFL all season long. But today they're going against a high-powered offense. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay. You want to know what the best defense may be? Run the ball and keep them on the sidelines. I can't wait to see it, Ben Johnson.
Right, if they stop that run of the Chicago Bears, I mean, they're going to have to get after Caleb Williams. The Rams defense, Byron Young and Jared Verse, 2 great pass rushers, but the trick about rushing Caleb Williams is this. Once you get there, you got to get him down because this guy will run all over the place. I'm excited to see this game in Chicago and what this Chicago team can do, but it's all about being here right now. It's all about being here right now. Here in Foxborough.
Wait a minute.
Back at Gillette Stadium.
I'm ready to show y'all the energy. The energy outside the stadium. We all we got. We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got. Greedy is going down, baby.
I don't hear you, Chip.
Hannah, in case you haven't heard, we're all we've got and we're all we need. We got a great show coming your way, a 3-hour pregame. The Monday Countdown crew will be with us the entire time. Teddy will sit down with Drake Maye one-on-one. DeMeco Ryans will join us live on the field. Robert Kraft will be on the show. Troy Aikman will be on the show. We will get you ready for football today like no one else can. We start straight up at noon Eastern time. Hannah and Jay, back to you.
Love it, Green. Greeny, that was such an awesome scene, although I did spot some Texans fans
There were a few.
in the crowd. And could this be an historic day for them? 0-6 all-time in the divisional playoffs, the only winless franchise in that round since the merger, but they've only been around a quarter of a century. So they have never played in an AFC or NFC championship. That would be the Texans, not the Oilers, the Texans. All right, SportsCenter on the road from Gillette. We are back with Dan Graziano, our man on the scene. They're looking to become the first team ever to get to a conference championship after an 0-3 start, Dan. Why do they feel that today is going to be different than the last two seasons when they were eliminated in the divisional round?
Well, Hannah, because they feel like this year has been different and that they're more battle-tested. They've beaten 4 teams that made the playoffs. They beat Kansas City, who they never beat. They beat Baltimore, who they never beat. They won a road playoff game, which the franchise has never done before until this past Monday. I talked to linebacker Azeez Al-Shire. He said, we know exactly why we didn't advance the last couple of years. We can look ourselves in the mirror and say, did we do what we said we were going to do? The answer is no, both times. But this team is battle-tested, and because of the belief and trust we have in the plan, we know if we do what we said we were going to do, it will work out.
The last time an NFL team from Houston made a conference championship game was the Houston Oilers back in 1979. Dan, back with you in a bit. Thanks.
Wow.
Time now for our final drive. At the end of September, the Texans were 0-3 and the Patriots were sitting at 2-2. But since then, both teams have caught fire. Only 3 combined losses. And today they meet for a spot in the AFC title game. Drake Maye meeting his stiffest challenge, a Texans defense which destroyed Aaron Rodgers. And if C.J. Stroud can bounce back from his 3-turnover effort in Pittsburgh, the Pats better hope for more of that defensive muscle they flexed against Justin Herbert. Dan Graziano has more.
The Houston Texans have been knocked out of the playoffs in this round each of the last 2 years. C.J. Stroud, of course, well aware of that. He chose this week to focus more on the positive things he did Monday night. He was 8 for 12 throwing the ball on 3rd down, made some big throws, even as he turned the ball over way too much. He feels like the playoff experience from the last couple years is what he needs to help him get over the hump and win in this round. And Drake Maye relayed a story this week about a team meeting in which Mike Vrabel asked everybody in the room who was still practicing this time last year, and only 2 hands went up. Milton Williams, who was on the Eagles, Carlton Davis, who was on the Lions. So Maye says Vrabel's really been drilling this week how unique and special this opportunity is and how focused they all need to be.